Alrighty, hello YouTube. Cody here, aka Debbie2100. Um, so I wanted to do this video today because yeah, it's been a kind of a emotionally traumatic day today. Um, in a lot of ways. Just mainly due to the fact that I did an interview the other day, for News Nation. And I want to kind of explain how everything happened. And for those who were saying that, oh my gosh, he's talking with his hands a lot. Oh my god. I do that. A couple of reasons. One, I'm an Italian. Okay, one, but two, I like to articulate how I speak. I actually took speaking classes and other things like that too. One of the things I like to do is to be able to really paint a picture with my hand to really express what I'm talking about. It's just something I do. I do it a lot. And it's not something that I'm like doing out of the basic of should I put this like trying to like be grandiose really so much as it just in my opinion it does help me tell what I'm trying to explain better. Like sometimes there's something like a word maybe stuck in the back of my head, and as I'm using my hands, I can sometimes pull that like almost like literally that word from the back of my head. And, there we go. That's the word I'm looking for right there. But the whole reason why yesterday even happened at all. Like I want to be fucking clear as I possibly can with this, okay? First off, never wanted to do a fucking video really on it so much as a more of a video. Originally, I had talked about, oh yeah, maybe I might do a video on what had happened in the area to express my concerns about literally the kids that go to school. Like, I don't know how else to explain this, but there's kind of a rape culture thing. I know I'm going to say the word, and I know YouTube's going to get, upset with me for using it in this video, but this is what happens. Yeah, we live very close to, to Moscow, Idaho, which is where it happened, and I live in Pullman, but I work in Moscow, Idaho, which is where the murder has happened at. Now, when they came in originally, the guy who came in was name was Will, and all he said he was from the media. And I never wanted to seek out the media. I never really wanted to talk about it. I just wanted to express that I wanted people to be safe, to know their environments, to just yeah, you can have friends, socialize, please. Don't take it in the way that I was gonna say like, oh, don't have friends, don't socialize, don't do anything, lock your doors at all times. No, but I want people to definitely be safe. Think about what could happen. Look at this situation and be like, okay, our door's locked, our window's locked. Who might know my key password or key code to my door? Things like that. Who has a key to my house? All of these things might be pretty important to know. I'm just saying. So it was really, disheartening to see people get mad and say that I was suspicious because I cared about a woman's safety. So I have my fiance here, who I do refer to as my wife all the time. So if you guys hear I say my wife, my fiance.
Matter of time.
Yes, exactly. It's just a matter of time. But the other thing is, I have a little sister, 9 years old, and I constantly think about what if that was her. And I think about when I see these girls walk into my shop. And again, it's not, when I say my shop, it's not my shop. I am not the owner, by the way. I want to clarify that as well. I'm not the owner. I'm just a manager. So I don't know where that came out, but I am just a manager there. But I do care about these kids that come in, even the guys when they come in. I tell them to be safe because again, at the end of the day, you're in a different environment. You're away from your parents. I've lived here in this whole area 21 years. So I've lived in both of these towns a respective 21 years total. Okay, so I feel I feel safe in that regard. I'm a local, but
and connected to the community.
Yeah. So for me, it's like when I think about these kids that are coming here, I'm like, wow, that's gonna be a little nerve wracking. Like, I mean, I think about like even to get off topic with LDS missionaries. You're like 18 or something like that, sent to sometimes like let's say Argentina or something like that, and you're from like Tennessee. You're out of your ball game. You're completely out of your field. You may not feel as comfortable. Same thing with these college students. these kids are sometimes coming from like New York or something like that. Maybe they're from a big city and they come to this small, quiet town. And that's the thing. We are a small, quiet, close knit community that really, at the end of the day, yeah, we have our occasional, like, oh, somebody, overdosed on drugs, or, especially with the college towns, you got kids that have fallen out of windows. I think that was what you were going to quote. Yeah.
The drinking.
Yeah, the heavy drinking. That's the biggest thing. You don't have a fucking quadruple murder. You don't have shit like that happen here.
All the previous murders have been guns, too. They're
yes.
unique.
Yes, exactly. It's more personal in that opinion, because you have to use something that's going to bring you that close to your fucking victim.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, it's just...
the whole idea. But...
Back to what I was originally saying, though, is why the interview happened was that I had just literally got to work. I was having a kind of a shitty morning. She can attest to that as well. I was not having...
mornings.
Yeah. I was not having a good morning there, chat. I literally was just like, wow. Like, today, hopefully might go well. I don't know. I was already feeling like that day was just going to go to crap, alright? Well, I'm maybe in there for maybe, like I said, 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. All of a sudden, Will comes in, says he's with the media. The first thing that comes out of my mouth is not, oh, it's the media? Hey, I got a story I want to tell you. Come here, I want to talk to you. No. It was legitimately like, alright, what are you here for? Like, instantly snapping him like that. Trying to get me look like, oh, okay. I just want to ask you questions. And I'm like, what are your questions? Like, I get that. Get to the fucking point. What are you here to ask me, right? Then he asks me, had the police come by the vape shop to collect any footage, any recordings, and all that other stuff like that. And so I start talking to him about that. I snap about it because I had heard so many people talk down about our police force. Now, look, again, I have my own personal opinions about the police. That's neither here nor there, okay? I will say this, though. The police that have been handling this case have been doing the best that they can. We do not have things like this happen.
We're just not set up.
No, not at all. Like, I can't imagine that we have a crime scene investigation team that's as nearly even equivalent to what maybe Seattle has, which is closer to us. I'm trying to think of, obviously, we're not going to have anything like New York, LA, Chicago, my home city of Detroit, where I come from. We're not going to have things like that, And
it's not like we're trying to do it alone. We're accepting help.
Yes, exactly.
We are accepting help.
Yeah, Moscow's accepting help. Here over in Pullman, we've been giving them help. We just had an issue here in Pullman just yesterday. They had a standoff with an individual who literally had a shootout with the police. But the police, again, and I still hold them to my heart too, because I have a good friend, because I grew up in Moscow, actually. So when I came to the Northwest, real quick, I moved to Moscow, Idaho with my family when I was about 8 years old, turning 9. And I lived there to about 19. I've lived over here in Pullman, Washington, and I'm 30 now. Okay? So I've had a good bit of time spent in both cities. Now, even as a kid, though, we would frequent over here all the time. It's 7 miles away. It's not that far. I would either skateboard over here with friends or bike over here. It's very close. The towns are very connected. Even the locals. In fact, most of us here in Pullman, we don't like to shop here in Pullman unless we really, really have to. Tax-wise, price-wise, exactly. Even alcohol. You want to go to Idaho because it's going to be cheaper. We do that all the time.
The bar scene's a little better, too.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another big thing. The bar scene is a hugely, vastly improvement over in Moscow versus over here in Pullman. So when we want to go out and hang out with friends and we want to go grab a drink anywhere, we don't go, hey, let's go to Rico's over here in Pullman. We're more inclined to go, hey, let's go hit up at Mingles, even though I'm not the biggest fan of it. Or Corner Club, John's Alley, even Tapped sometimes, or even Slice. There's so many bars in Moscow that you can go to.
And back in the day, CJ was my favorite.
And CJ's was one of the places you could go to back then. Now it's no longer around. It's now a building for one of our local churches. So now, when I was expressing all this about all this and this whole my love for this area, how long I've lived here, I want that to be expressed here because there's an importance that when I'm defending these officers, it's not just because like I love all cops or whatever the case is. No, I want cops to help to be scrutinized when they need to be scrutinized. However, these officers have been doing all that they can, and they hear people say that they weren't doing enough, that they didn't collect evidence quick enough, or any of that stuff like that, do you realize how much evidence had to be collected as it is, I would assume, from this entire area? Like, I'm just assuming you have
It's
not just our
vast.
business, but then you also have the actual house. The house itself. We have seen countless videos, especially if you like myself and most of the other locals, we've
Are
been
curious,
keeping
you're
up
gonna
on
be like,
this. Yeah, we've been
what's-
keeping up on this quite a bit. And they've said in their releases, there is a ton of evidence that has come out of the house alone. Let alone think about the fact that you have other shops, street cameras, ring cameras, body cam footages that we've been having released from apparently the night that that they went to the night of the murders. There was actually that disturbance call for underage drinking, and now there's body cam footage that they're looking at as well. There's footage from some of the dash cams that they've had. There's so much evidence out there. Okay, now I want to paint all that again because when I was talking about the stalker, I was not in my mind actually thinking that I'm talking about the killer, and I want to express this real quick because when I brought up the whole stalker thing, I was bringing up, yes, information that has been known to the public for quite some time. Now, I've had people in the comments being like, well, I would have never disclosed information like this to my, to a vape shop person and stuff like that. Like, okay, let me explain to you guys something. I've had some very, very personal stuff told to me to the point that, like,
He's a little shocked.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, wow.
I feel like I should be technically considered a therapist as my second part of my job. Like, I'm, yes, doing retail part-time, but my other part-time job in this is of therapy. And then here's why. Just an example. I'm not going to give out any names or anything like that. This is a lovely lady who's come into my shop many times. Love her to death. She's an awesome lady. And in fact, actually grew up with her as well, actually. It would be ironic enough. More so with her boyfriend, that she would be very, very, very in love with, who would eventually pass away at a young age, sadly enough. And it definitely broke her heart, which was very sad. Which it was just one of those things we all had this kind of connection because we all kind of bonded more so over the passing of a good mutual friend of ours. Because a lot of us hadn't really hung out at that point, but then we did. But so she comes into my shop one day, I'd say maybe a year and a half ago. Okay, this happens, and it's in the middle of about middle of winter time, and she comes in. She's normally a very, very happy looking person, very, very uplifting person. She has this look on her face that literally looks like that day is not bad. And you're just inclined. Hey, how'd your day? How is your day going? And I know I'm not gonna get a good response, but I'm kind of expecting maybe like, man, my day was shit, or off. I got a ticket today, or something. I'm gonna say normal along those lines. No, what was said to me next definitely was like, oh, what do I do? What do I say next? Because I feel horrible for even asking how your day was. She then tells me that she had a miscarriage that day, and I'm not joking you. I am not joking you. She literally tells me she just had a miscarriage, and that her and her boyfriend have been trying so hard for a kid and all that stuff like that. And just to have somebody tell you that is so fucking heartbreaking, dude. Like, whether you want kids or not, you to know somebody's wanting that in their life, they are going hard for it with their, their partner and their significant other, and to have that feel like it's been robbed from you, I can't imagine that. That's
just one of many examples.
Yeah, yes.
So I mean,
And it's devastating. So I try to cheer her up at the end. She thanks me for trying to make her smile and everything like that at the end of the day as she leaves, and it made me feel good to know that I at least was able to kind of lighten the mood for her a little bit. But that's just, again, things that I have had happen have said to me. This isn't like, again, when I said anything about what I've said in the interview was like groundbreaking, revolutionary. It was not. I literally was more or less shooting the shit with the media dude, Will. And again, I don't know if he was a cameraman or if he was like an assistant producer for Brian Eaton, or I'm not exactly sure. But he asked me then afterwards, because I apologize for snapping. It's like, hey, look, man, I'm sorry. But as what Fox News has done, what the Daily Mail has done, I kind of have my guard up against the media right now, and I really don't have respect for him. And he apologized on behalf of the entire industry. At that point, I was like, okay, you know what? If you have the balls to be kind enough to be like, you know what? I am sorry for that, because that's not how we're supposed to be doing our job. We're journalists. We're not supposed to be pushing a narrative. We're not supposed to be pushing a bias or anything like that. That's what, journalists are just supposed to be reporting the facts. That's all. So all I was doing was expressing, hey, these two young ladies have come in with their friends multiple times, and I said yes 6 or 7 times, and I know people were trying to pick apart every little thing I've said. And now look, I don't care if you do or not. Here's the thing. They only came in 6 or 7 times while I was working. They may have come in more. Now, I can tell you this, that when they came in, they always came with a group of girls. Now, I know I'm saying this like this because I want this to be prefaced properly. Yes, they always came with a group of girls. Anywhere between a total of 4 to 5 total in that group. Kaylee and Maddie, including the other girls. Now, when they would come in, they would shoot this shit for a few seconds. I got to know them. Again, a lot of times we would just talk about, hey, how's your day going? Oh, how's school going? Again, I'm a very sociable person. I love to talk to people. For fuck's sake, I do YouTube and stream on Twitch for a reason. I like to talk. I love to talk to people. So getting to know people is not something that's like, oh, wow, you socialize with your customers?
Anybody who met him knows. Anybody.
I love people. I really do. I do love talking. So it was like, it was so mind-fucking to be like told, wow, I'm being suspicious because I talk to my customers. Oh, that's kind of crazy.
He's weird. Or, oh, why is he using his hands? Like, guys, there's actually medical reasons. Yes. Sometimes, too.
So, like, for those who are wondering, well, you're not walking around pacing da-da-da right now. Well, yes, I'm sitting, and actually, I'm twitching my legs a lot. You see me move my hands a lot. I have epilepsy, and I also have tremors. I shouldn't even have to disclose medical fucking conditions to you people, but I feel like I have to, because, again, I'm being labeled as weird and suspicious. I'm also gonna throw myself under the bus here when it comes to height here. Yeah, I know, I heard the giggle here. I'm just gonna, I will stand up for the camera. Here, you know what? I am, see if I can actually, I see, so short I can't fit in this camera frame because I'm so damn close. I am 5'5", okay? 5'5", 5'6" when I stand up straight. You see? You see this? Do I look like the physicality of somebody who could have committed the fucking atrocities that happened? No. In fact, actually, as this one will gladly tell you, I am fucking grossed out by human bodily fluids. It grosses me the fuck out. I would literally just be like, oh god, the entire time. I would be freaking the fuck out.
It's not
Like, if I was...
Also, we're just going to point out some real quick facts. I just need to make this clear. He doesn't drive.
No, with epilepsy, I cannot drive. I would literally have to prove myself epilepsy-free for a year. But unfortunately, even though living in Washington, they don't accept me using cannabis as a form of, combating my epilepsy. Yeah. Even though that has been what I've used from an actual doctor's, suggestion. Again, not able to prescribe it.
When the pills don't work.
No.
And the cannabis industry does. That's what you go for to stop.
And I don't want that to be like, oh, see, look, he's stoned. By the way, also people who were like, oh, look, he's stoned. I was a little nervous to do a video because I wasn't expecting them to literally will walk out. 5 minutes later, barely, here comes in Brian, his producer Lauren, and Mo, the cameraman, and be like, all right, here, can you pop this lapel mic on? And where do you want to stand? And again, for those who are like, oh, look at how he was, bragging about or showing off the shop. Brian and Mo were like, should we get a good shot of this in the background?
Like, you guys choose. You're the interviewers.
Yeah. Like, I just felt bad because where we were standing, I barely had any room to stand between me, Brian, and Mo. And poor Lauren is clear off to the side over there trying to, listen. And she's got her little phone for the camera on that angle. So, and again, also, too, people who don't realize this, when I'm looking at you right now in the camera, that is because that is how we do this on YouTube and how you would do certain videos like this.
There's no interviewer.
Exactly. If Sean was doing the interview, I would not be facing you. I'd be like, yeah, so yeah, this was how.
And then
at
the end, we would wrap up.
Exactly. That is. God, I got a cat hair on my nose now. Good grief. Yes. Dang you fluffy kids. But so.
Wait, there's one. You can see the fluff.
Right there. So, but that has been the biggest issue, though. It has been trying to literally clear the air here and explain, because Shauna here has had to come to my defense so much, and I love her to death, obviously, because she's my fiance, my wife, and I love her to death as it is, but I didn't expect her just to, out of her own kindness of her heart, to be like, no, I'm sorry. One, with this woman and my family, the entirety of that night and the whole weekend. So, I never left the fucking house for that.
This man can't leave without all of us knowing.
No.
There's no way.
Nor can I leave without this one being my ride.
Exactly.
So I can't do anything without her. I'm codependent. Okay.
Very.
Yes, very codependent.
We
so,
do love each other that much.
so yeah, I'm very disheartened by that. And the interview wasn't like I sought after it. They came to me. And again,
he had his moment of being They squashed it. They're like, okay, mutual respect was earned.
Exactly.
All right, I'm gonna give an interview because in the end, we just want this talk.
You can say piece of shit.
I'm sorry. I know. I feel weird about.
Cuts out.
Okay. And I just want them to catch who did it. That's what he wants.
Exactly. That's all we both want. At the end of the day, we just want whoever actually committed these atrocities to these 4 young people. Please, can we get justice for them? Please. That's all I'm asking for. And when I was talking about the stalker, by the way, I was literally referring to, in my opinion, again, because I know, and here's the thing again, when I saw people being like, well, there's never been any, police, da-da-da. Yeah, exactly. Hence why when I was talking about it, I didn't even think that the part of what I was explaining about would even be used. Okay? I've taken media classes before, and I know that there's a lot of times that interviewers will just take a bunch of interviews in, regardless of if they're going to be good or not, needed or not, because at the end of the day, they're only going to use maybe a handful, maybe 4 or 5 at best. I didn't expect
just a little clip of what he said.
Yes, I didn't expect this. Okay, so I want to go into this real quick now. And let me turn off. Okay, notice we got this going over here. Perfect. All right, so let me just grab up my window capture here properly. So I want to grab the Twitter feed first here. We're gonna start off with the Twitter. So this is where I saw the video originally by Brian, right? Okay, so here we go. So explaining all this stuff about the vape shop, about how the video was deleted, stuff like that. So if most people don't realize, every 7 days, most other places end up deleting the footage and everything like that they have. Again, excuse me, we did not know that any of this was going to end up transpiring. So again, we did not have the footage for any of that stuff. I did thank him for doing all this. My mother, even, by the way, this is my mother who has been trying to help as well, explain to a lot of the people out here that are trying to literally crucify me over this whole thing without having even a shred of evidence. Because I move my hands. Because I'm weird. Yeah, I know I'm weird. It's why I stream. It's why I do YouTube. Do you think you have to be normal to do YouTube or stream?
Not at all.
You gotta be a little kind of weird to do both of those, by the way. So one of the things I was seeing something like this was like, it was 3 weeks before a guy criticizing me about my dates and stuff like that. Now, I will say this, yes, I did say 3 weeks. I may have been wrong. Now, the reason why I thought it was 3 weeks, and I did say, have a good Thanksgiving break. Now, the reason, again, I said this in the fucking video, and for a person to have that check mark that you paid $8 for, I would hope you would do your research just a little bit, because I did clearly state that these kids, after the pandemic has been happened here at the at the school, waves of kids. Okay,
they're all coming and going at different times.
So they've done this now to kind of help out, because there are some kids that still have stayed at home to do online classes, and there have been those that came back. Now, in fact, actually, we had so many kids come back to the city that legitimately, both Pullman and Moscow, we did not have enough room for all the children. Legitimately, all these 18, 19, 20-year-olds, they were literally put in hotels. Some of them still are, because there wasn't enough room for them. Now, as soon as the murder happened, U of I was not the only place. There was children here that I heard about leaving in droves from the WSU campus because, again, they still did not feel safe themselves. And they themselves, from what I've been told, at the WSU campus, were also allowed to take online courses if they didn't feel safe. It's to be expected.
They're both college students. They're both scared.
And then, so I bring this up, and then we had this one say, I don't know, man, he seems nervous to be on camera. Well, yeah, I was only given 5 minutes to prep, and literally, no, I didn't smoke weed. Unfortunately, I do love this. Thank you, Amanda, for that, who doesn't enjoy weed from time to time. Amen to that.
But not completely sober for his video.
Yes, and again, I have to be sober because I work in Moscow, Idaho. It's not legal in Idaho, so I have to be sober when I go to work. So if I was there stoned, yeah, it would have been bad. However, I wasn't. So again, But I just wanted to cover those few ones right here for Twitter. Let's see, can I pull? There we go. All right, now I want to pull these ones up because this is where really the weirdness really comes out. And again, it's YouTube. I get it. Some of the weirdest comments happen here. Okay, this one was a little random and unique. Somebody was just expressing how they've had an incident themselves, in 1977. But this was something cool as well. Something too as well that I thought what I found interesting too was like I was stuck ages ago in college, seeing this car waiting for me outside my apartment, seeing him everywhere I went. Seeing him everywhere I want. I went. Sorry, my glasses got a little blurry there. It's not something that is easy to shake off, even when it ends. I graduated and moved far away. Again, when you're being stalked, it's not something that you're easily going to be, oh yeah, this was something that happened. Oh yeah, you're not just going to be brushing it off that easily, right? So, and I also want to express too that yes, people, and this is going to also be said here down below here. There are people who are going to say, and I don't know, maybe you want to say this because you're the woman, but there are women who maybe will think that a guy's stalking them without it actually being stalking. Am I wrong?
No, as women from a young age, you are just taught to always be aware and treat every man as a potential threat. And so, yes, this is a college town, a lot of young pretty girls, and there's gonna be a lot of guys walking around, and so yeah, there's gonna be times where women are looking at a guy like, oh my god, and yeah, sometimes he's just there, sometimes he's not being that weirdo. Now, if you keep saying the same person, or even just the different people constantly following you, that's a little different. Again, we don't know, but as women, just like in the store, like what he experienced, we also try to brush it off and laugh it off because it is more common than we want to pretend. Like it's there. It's an everyday worry. And so I've been in those groups or with those friends where we're just like, haha, yeah, this guy's stalking us, or her or whoever. And it's something you do to kind of just lighten the severity. And I've seen people do this countless times. So it's sad that people think that this is not a conversation that just occur naturally in his store. It's like, no, I've seen so many worse deep dives of emotional baggage just dumped on him, and it's like that was light. That was light compared to some of the things I witnessed him here. And I'm there too in the background, just like, should we be charging for this? Like,
should be
because and you always want to be nice and supportive to your customers. They're your lifeblood. So,
Yeah, here's something else I wanted to say, too. Okay, so I saw another comment. I can't remember if it was either here on YouTube or if it was on Twitter. But somebody was more or less like, I would, never would have talked to my pot dealer, more or less at a dispensary this way. Okay, let me explain to you guys how a dispensary works, all right? You go to a dispensary, you walk in, the first thing that goes, can I see your ID? Pull out your ID. Hand them that, boom, right? Then put it back in, or you hold on to it like I do a lot of times, right? Then you get to your transaction, and at the end, when you're at the cash register, you take your ID out again, or you hold it up again, you hold it back to them, boom, done, right? That's it. You might be shooting the shit a little bit here and there, lightly, yeah, experience. Like you're literally though there, just like, okay, yeah, that looks good, yeah, that's a little green, a little purple, maybe I'll buy that one, okay, cool. Oh yeah, give me a gram of that, or give me an eighth of that. That's really all you're doing. Do you know what happens when you come into the vape shop? Let me explain it to you. Hey, how's your day going? Not too bad. Yeah, how's the weather? Are you enjoying the weather outside? Yeah, you know what? I actually just caught some snowboarding up on Schweitzer Mountain, or went over to Silver Mountain and stuff like that. We have amazing snowboarding in this area. A lot of people love to do it, especially when we got fresh powder. So I'll be talking about something like that, and then all of a sudden you'll hear them be like,
segue somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, good example. I have this guy who just came in yesterday. He's a former Navy member, by the way, too. Literally wouldn't know until because in fact he told me this and gets a military discount. But it was like, oh yeah, man, school's been crap. I totally bombed this one test. This differential equation. It literally goes on this whole rant about differential equations. That I'm just like, dude, I suck at that type of math. What are you talking about? Like what?
Out of my depth.
Exactly. But we're talking about literally his whole day-to-day life. Then he's telling me about work, how he works over at one of the local factories that makes power plant stuff. All this stuff like that. I hear people's day-to-day life. Like, we're just in there shooting the shit. Sometimes, especially when I'm like, hey, especially if you're buying, like, one of these disposables or something like that, I don't want you to just buy the box and just run out the store. Because here's why. you buy this guy and you run out the store, and let's say you live like in Moscow, for instance, guess what? You gotta drive all the way back to come back for one of these. That's if you come back within a certain time. If you come back 4 days later and you're like, so I just opened this and it's burnt. You're not getting a new one. That's obviously user error. You either burnt the shit out of it or you hit the hell out of it and then it burnt on you. Now, that is why I will tell you, if you're in my shop, hey, yeah, gladly hit it.
Open
You know,
it up, try it
exactly.
out before you leave.
Exactly. So that way, if it does it, I can get you a new one right away. Now, also, I did see also people bitching about my Twitch stuff in the shop.
That you can barely...
They merely see. There's two things actually people bitched about. One, the fact that the video was in the shop, which I wasn't actually that happy that Brian and them wanted to do it in the shop. I kind of would either rather have done it outside.
Again, spur of the moment, not really discussed with him what he should
I'm
do.
sorry, it's cold outside. I didn't really want to go outside, but so I was like, oops, sorry, babe. Sorry, I didn't mean to elbow you.
Oh gosh.
But so I didn't really want to go outside and stand out there in the cold. So I was like, okay, let's just go ahead and do the interview in here. Then fine, things like that. So it wasn't really dinging in my head. Oh yes, I'm promoting the vape shop in any way. No, like,
or himself.
Yeah, no, it's like literally. I even forgot that I had the Twitch stuff behind me while we were talking. I'm not. Do you think that the entire time I'm talking about Kaylee and Maddie, two people who have passed away, that I'm literally thinking about my Twitch channel or my YouTube channel or the fact that I got the Cafe de Vapor sign behind me? No. I'm more focused on the fact that these two young ladies have lost their life, and I'm trying to express the fact that there was a potential chance that maybe there was a person out there stalking them. Again, police were never able to corroborate this. Again, I want that to be reiterated. So when I explained this to Brian, I really wasn't thinking anything of that, of the fact of like, oh, that this was like maybe going to be taken as if like this was like a definitive thing. It kind of felt like that's how it was being taken. It's like, no, just because somebody says something doesn't mean that necessarily it was true. Because again, as I said, these girls felt that that's what was going on. Now again, them traveling as a pack was definitely smart and safe to do. If you're a young woman in your 20s, there's even a comment somewhere in here that was explaining that too. Young women in their 20s are more likely to have that happen to them, just saying, if they're not traveling in groups. It's much more unlikely to happen if you are traveling in a pack. So I always encourage girls to travel in packs, carry pepper spray, stuff like that. Again, I have a beautiful wife that I think about.
He's surrounded by women that he cares about. Again,
I think of my I even think about my mother, who, trust me, I know that lady can handle her own. I know she can handle her own. But then I also think about my little sister. Okay? Not going to disclose how little she is in age-wise, but she's a little girl. I care about that little girl very fucking much. And my thought is I always go, okay, when something like this happens, think about it in this case, what would it be like if that was her? How would I respond? How would I react? I would be fucking infuriated. Damn bet I'd be like fucking Ethan's brother, walking around handing out flyers and stuff like that. Like, please, any information you have, give it to the police. Give it to the,
devastated.
Yes.
You would be devastated.
It just, to fucking think that, like, also that I was trying to do this for 15 minutes of fame. Again, for somebody to do this for 15 minutes of fame, you gotta go seek the media. Media has sought me, not the other way around. Okay? Plus, I stream and do Twitch and all that other stuff like that. That's where I get my 15 minutes of fame as it is. I get to hang out with the people in the community that I've built up from all around the world, and I enjoy that. I have friends from all the way from here in America to all the way to Taiwan. And I love every single one of the beautiful members of that community that I've developed. I don't need to go to a media source to cash in on somebody's death. And then this video is not what that is. And again, let's say that this video was to ever like actually make money, or somebody was to come to the channel to donate. I would donate that money then to the GoFundMe page for the families. Not even joking. That's who deserves the money. I would then take any money that would ever come out of this to those families so that they could help try to pay for all the rest of the stuff that they still have to deal with, including legal fees. Because again, this is not over. Like, just because they were able to finally put their children at rest doesn't mean their children are at rest. They haven't got justice. Those things are going to require legal fees, lots of money. And if I could somehow provide some money, if this, again, let's say this channel was big enough and I was already monetized, I would not really want to monetize this video, but if I did, I would explicitly state right at the start, any and all money earned in this video going straight to that family, and I would try to take a picture of me literally taking money from that, or cashing out whatever it would be from YouTube. Again, we're not monetized on the channel, so I wouldn't know. But whatever they do to do for monetization, I would show you guys me taking that money, going over to the GoFundMe page, donate. That's exactly what I would do, because that's the only right thing to do in something like this. But I'm not doing this to cash in on something. I'm doing this to have to clear my fucking name and the air that surrounds that interview, which again, as I told the wife, my mom, and everybody else I've talked to, I didn't expect that interview to even air. I didn't expect it to be of useful knowledge of any kind. I literally figured they'd probably look at that video and be like, nah, there's really nothing here for us to use. Delete.
That or maybe just the smallest clip. Again,
Yeah.
just a little bit from it.
Yeah.
Not an actual, 5-minute video.
A whole 5-minute segment that I didn't deserve. I didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve all that publicity. I just wanted to literally reiterate that I had met these girls a few times, that they come in. They were just these beautiful, smart, funny girls that I've had come into my shop. I absolutely enjoy when I have people who I can actually have a nice little 5-minute conversation with. That isn't just get your shit and get the fuck out. I don't want to have that. I love being able to talk to people. So the fact that they were able to shoot the shit with me was amazing. But then to know, it's a little hard to think about. To know that you're not gonna see their faces again. It's really fucked up, and it's like
and then the way people turn on you.
Yeah. Literally, I literally only did the interview because I was like, okay, hey, I guess I could do this because he asked me kind of on the spot, like, hey, do you mind doing an interview? I literally told him I was just gonna give them a discount because I felt bad for snapping at the guys. So, if you guys need any vapes, CBD or kratom, come in. We'll give you guys a discount. To know that you're not gonna see them though again. To know that, like I was telling the wife, we on the day-to-day basis come across people that are probably never gonna be in our life ever again. Maybe for whatever reason, right? But to know why you're never gonna see those people again, and they don't deserve. They're so young, They don't deserve that, and I cannot believe that people were like, "Oh, you're suspicious because you're weird." Dude, what fucking person isn't weird, first of all? Okay? I'm gonna say that. But the fact that a lot of people just kind of attacked me? For what? What was your evidence? What was your proof? What do you have? So I'm gonna tell you this. If you literally thought I was so weird and so much of a suspect, don't you fucking think the police would have already fucking talked to me? Did anything?
I'm gonna say for a fact, that interview, he stated that if the police had not already talked to all of those friends and family, and that the stalker angle had not already been well known, he wouldn't be able to be making videos. He would be interrogated. He would be a prime suspect. But they know that is a fact. They know that it's been discussed before. It's just so sad that he actually cared, and this is how he was treated. So.
Yeah. And, so yeah, I just wanted to clear the air. Didn't mean to get emotional there at the end there, guys. Again, it's just fucking sad. And I'm not crying because of my fucking stuff. I'm crying again because it's sad to know that people that you actually cared about, that were good people, you're not going to see them again. Their families. And again, it's in a time of the year that you're supposed to be with your family, man. You're supposed to be with your fucking family.
Christmas is right around the corner.
Yeah, I'm thinking in my head too, put my little sister in that case, looking over there and be like, you don't get to see that person, fucking there anymore. I can't imagine what it's like to be any of those 4 parents. To be like, yeah, gotta go to Thanksgiving. Why? Fucking Christmas. That was another thing too. I was thinking about. It might sound petty, just materialistic kind of sounding, but it's these parents probably did buy gifts for their kids, and I'm just thinking in my head though, it's
that's gotta be painful to look at those presents.
To either look at them or even have to return them, and be like, "Oh yeah, I bought this for Ethan," or "Oh, I bought this for Kaylee." I bought this for Xana. It's oh my god, dude, fuck, that's gotta be
again,
Just
we can't even
incredibly painful.
fathom what the friends and family.
Exactly. And I just want to ask this though of everybody that is on YouTube. Please fuck off with the psychic shit, please. That needs to stop. Please stop. You are not special. You are not some medium.
You're not helping.
You're not helping the family. You are not. You are causing more fucking pain. You are literally as bad as J Station doing a 3 a.m. challenge for fucking Robin Williams. That's how fucking degenerate and bad you are as a human being. Please stop. Those families need peace. They need rest. Don't do that. Okay? Don't. But I will leave it that enough right there. But I do love all y'all. And again, I do hope the best of everything from this. Please, if you guys do actually have any information,
Yes.
go send it to the tip hotlines, things like that. You can find them all over. Please don't just start sleuthing onto the YouTube. Don't just go to the medias and stuff like that. Go to the police. They're the ones that need the information first. Again, I did not approach them. They approached me. I would not go seeking the fucking media.
And on that, maybe avoid interviews. Have information.
Yeah,
it's not the way to go. So
yeah, no.
talk
If you're
to the
gonna
police.
if you're gonna do an interview, make sure at first, definitely don't do like I did. I think what the problem is, like with Jeremy and the other neighbor and myself, is that we all did this thinking that we were just gonna provide some helpful information, and honestly, at the end of the day, again, it didn't do anything but get us looked at as being these horrible people when we're not.
Villainized.
Yes, completely villainized and dehumanized. Like, again, yes, I am a short person. I went ahead and threw myself under the bus on that stuff. I don't need you guys to then speculate on how, like, this could have happened. Because I want you to remind yourself, or remember that the fact that Ethan himself was, 6'4", 200-something pounds? He was a basketball player. Dude, he could kick my ass easily, dude. Like, I'm not strong. I'm not gonna fucking even deny that shit. But
A regular dude.
Yeah, a regular dude who was just definitely at the wrong place at the wrong time when it came to this fucking interview.
So.
I feel like it was my coworker. She just would have told him to go fuck off. Being honest with that one. I kind of did tell him to fuck off, but Will was able to withstand that little barrage and just asked me to do the interview. And again, he was I will say this, he was reluctant. He didn't even want to ask me to do the interview at first. I at first thought he was going to ask me for a discount, so that's why I said, hey man, if you guys need a discount on anything like that, come on in. Like, it's at least my way to say, sorry for being a complete asshole to you guys right off the bat like that, right? And then asks me to do an interview. And again, in my mind, I'm thinking, when I said yes, I was thinking, okay, we'll do an interview. And then, like, later on, right? Then, as soon as I turn around, Will has already left, going to get the guys, come in, and I'm like, shit. Okay. And a lot of that is because I didn't want to do that there. Because the Cafe to Vapor sign that was in the back that was people bitched about, that wasn't on purpose. Again, that was something that they chose to do. If it was on purpose, it was on their end, not on mine.
More time to kind of wake up and start his day. Kind of like formulate what he was like probably best to say, Again.
Exactly, yeah. So
zero prep time.
Again, I love you guys. Please, I want the best from all this.
Yeah, just help the police if you can.
Yeah, if we can get to this killer, get them found, and get justice served for this family. That's the only thing that's a matter, and it's important right now. And I leave you guys all with that. I hope you guys all take it easy.